Yes, yes, yes.
Hey,
Yes.
all right.
Yes. Well, good morning.
Morning.
I'm Randy Lewis.
I'm Nicole Kirk.
And I'm Martin Lavenhar. Welcome to All Souls on Homecoming Sunday. You might have seen and you came in a bouncy house for the kids, and we've got food and all kinds of things for folks. So stick around after the service and let's enjoy some time together with one another, break bread together, and just feel, welcome home to those who are back for a long time, and welcome to all those who are visiting.
Yes, and welcome to those who are joining us online, our online viewers and everywhere, members watching from all over the world. We're so glad that you decided to join us on this homecoming morning.
Wonderful. If you're a first-time visitor, as our ushers come up the aisle, if you'd raise your hand, we have a gift for you. Keep those hands up as our ushers come with the gifts, and they'll make certain it comes your way. And also, if you're new or newish, we'd love to have some more time with you. We invite you to the Sonnen Library after the service. Go through the doors across the foyer, and there'll be our welcoming team there to answer any questions you may have about All Souls.
So since we're kicking off a new year here at All Souls, I wanted to introduce you to some of the staff who are not up front that you don't get to see. They're behind the scenes, so we created just a short little video with members of our staff so you can say hi to them as well as we kick off this new year. Some have been here a long time and some are brand new.
To predictability, the milkman, the paper boy, evening TV. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a face of somebody who needs you. Everywhere you look, when you're lost out there and you're all alone.
I invite you now to join us in our covenant that's printed in your order of service.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
All right, well, I want to invite our chalice lighters to come forward, and as they do, they're going to light our chalice. This is a symbol of that's used by Unitarian Universalist congregations all over the world, and I just want to welcome everyone again to The Point. This is our humanist service that we have every week at 11:30, and it's a chance for all seekers of all kinds to explore different ideas about faith, spirituality, and life, and ethics, and morality. So it's just great to have so many people with us this morning. These two especially, who are lighting our chalice, almost forgot to introduce you, Jenny and Tony Clyde. The Clyde family's been here for quite a while, 15 or years at least, and they have a beautiful daughter who unfortunately isn't feeling well today, Tilda. So shout out to Tilda. We'll get you to light the chalice another time. Thank you all.
As we gather to begin another year, we find ourselves asking, what will happen next? What will tomorrow bring? How will we live between heartbreak and joy? Today, as we light the chalice, we set aside our distractions. We choose to be here now, to offer ourselves for the good of this community and for the good of all souls.
Good morning. My name is Lee Rumley. I am the worship associate here at All Souls, and I am reading a story that Shannon Boston, our religious education exploration director selected for you. Shannon is under the weather today. We hope she feels better. The name of the story is The Day You Begin by Jacqueline Woodson, illustrated by Rafael Lopez. There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you. Maybe it will be your skin, your clothes, or the curl of your hair. There will be times when no one understands the way words curl from your mouth, the beautiful language of the country you left behind. My name is Rigoberto. We just moved here from Venezuela. And because they don't understand, the classroom will fill with laughter until the teacher quiets everyone. Rigoberto from Venezuela, your teacher says so soft and beautifully that your name and homeland sound like flowers blooming, the first bright notes of a song. There will be times when the words don't come, your own voice, once huge, now smaller, when the teacher asks, "What did you do last summer?" Tell the class your story. We went to France, Shayla says. These shells came from a beach in Maine. A boy named Jonathan holds out a jar filled with tiny shells so fragile they look like they'll turn to dust in your own untraveled hands. My whole family went to India, Spain, South Carolina. Each souvenir a small triumph of a journey, their travels going on and on. And as you stand in front of that room, you can only remember how the heat waved as it lifted off the curb and your day spent at home caring for your little sister who made you laugh out loud and hugged you hard at nap time. You can only remember the books you kept on reading long after she had fallen asleep. And in that room where no one else is quite like you, you'll look down at your own empty hands and wonder, what good is this when the other students were flying and sailing and going somewhere? There will be times when the lunch with your mother packed for you is too strange or unfamiliar for others to love as you do. When even your own friend Nadia will wrinkle her nose and say, "What's in there anyway?" And you wonder how she doesn't see the rice beneath the meat and kimchi. You'll wonder why she doesn't understand that rice is the most popular food in the world. There will be times when the climbing bars are too high, the run is too fast and far, the game isn't one you can ever really play. I don't want him on our team. You can watch. Well, maybe you can have a turn later. There will be times when the world feels like a place that you're standing on is all the way outside. And all that stands between you is your own brave self, steady as steel and ready, even though you don't know what you're ready for. There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you until the day you begin to share your stories. My name is Angelina, and I spent my whole summer with my little sister. You can tell the class, your voice stronger than it was a minute ago, reading books and telling stories. And even though we were right on our block, it was like we were getting to go everywhere. Your name is like my sister's, Roberto says. Her name is Angelina, too. And all at once, in the room where no one else is quite like you, the world opens itself up a little wider to make some space for you. This is the day you begin to find places inside your laughter and your lunches, your books, your travel, and your stories, where every new friend has something a little like you and something else so fabulously not like you at all. I invite our children and youth to go to Sunday school where you can share your stories.
Oh, goodness, it's so good to be together. And this place has a bigger impact than just the people in this room and online. We have impact all over the city of Tulsa, and one of the particular ways we have it is with our Partners in Education social justice team. We sponsor 2 schools, and we've been doing that for decades. And Partners in Education, or PI, as we often call them around here, one of the many things they do is help our 2 schools, Unity Academy in North Tulsa and Monroe, to do various things to support their teachers and the learning of those students, and it means a lot. Now, one of the things we've been doing for many years is helping the Academy and also Monroe have sweatshirts for every student, for every teacher in those classrooms. Now, for many years, we had some angels in our congregation. George Crumey, in particular, sponsored the sweatshirts and made sure the students and the teachers got the sweatshirts. We also had the great, fantastic support of Nancy McDonald in so many ways. Well, George Crumey passed away last year, and so it's now up to us to help provide the sweatshirts for our 2 sponsored schools. Now, these sweatshirts, now, while beautiful, as you see, this is from a few years ago. There's a design on the back. It's created by the school members. It's created by the students every year. It's a symbol of unity. Many of the students wear it every day. But here's something to really think about. This sweatshirt is also, for many of the students of these schools, their winter coat. Think about that. This is your only winter coat when the winds in January come and the ice storms. These sweatshirts are about community building. These are a symbol of power, empowerment. These are a symbol of keeping warm and keeping safe. And so we need to sponsor it this year. They're $20 a piece. This is part of the PI Give a Shirt campaign. And I hope that you all give generously for our offering today so we can support this and we can get those sweatshirts to our students. Monroe alone, it's a middle school, has 600 students. If you're curious, $500 would cover an entire classroom and a teacher. Just letting you know. So I hope we all give generously when the offering comes around. And this offering and our offering each week is a way that we live out our love and service out into the world. I love that we give away our plate each week, and this does go out into the community through our PI Partners in Education team. Did you know that every Sunday is Joining Sunday? Well, it is this Sunday as well. If you're ready to join and become a member of All Souls, you want more information about membership, please join me at 1245 up in room 203. I'd love to see you there. Now, we are so excited to kick off another church year. We've got so much planned for you starting today. After the service, there'll be all kinds of activities and fun for all ages. We have hot dogs. We have games. We have a bouncy house. Handicraft items for sale in Emerson Hall on the lawn, plus some Tai Chi in the president's room. We've got you covered. We invite you to stick around and enjoy being together as a community. Now, we'll keep that momentum going because our Wednesday night connections also starts this week on, you guessed it, Wednesday. That's right. Thank you, David, for laughing at my jokes. Dinner starts at 5:30 on a sliding scale. There's so many classes after. There's dinner at 5:30, I should say. There's chapel, and then all these classes, all kinds of offerings, and as always, we offer childcare. Now, our program expos continue next Sunday, September 14th. One close to my heart, we have our Social Justice Expo next Sunday. We hope you're there for it. And the following week is the Pastoral Care Support Groups Expo. It's a time to get to know all the different ways you can get involved and be supported here at All Souls. Now, I want you to check out your order service. You might see all this great information. You might even take it home with you. But if not, all of this information's on our website. We hope to see you in all the upcoming events, or even just some in the near future. And now, we gratefully receive our offering for Partners in Education and their Give a Shirt campaign.
You know, there's moments that we lift up spirit and joy and celebration. And there's also moments that we pause. We lift up difficulties and challenges in our community, and this moment is one of them. Heartfelt condolences to member Annie Ellicott and family on the loss of her father, Rod Ellicott Sr., who passed away last week. We hold space this morning for Amanda Brano and family on the loss of her mother, Linda Mae Morris, who passed away yesterday. We hold space for Claire Cross and her niece, Caroline. And we hold space for all of you coming home to this healing and beautiful community of hope, of peace and love. We come, all of us, carrying a number of challenges, a number of celebrations, number of losses, endings, beginnings. Some of us are feeling a lot this morning. And so we just pause and we feel the weight of it all. But I ask you today is, let this community also carry that weight with you. You carry mine and I carry yours. And together, we hold each other up. So we pause in this tender moment to recognize the beauty, the difficulty, but we also recognize that we all belong. And so in this shared silence in which we now enter, we do so with the belief and the hope that we stand together, that we belong together.
Anybody know this? Can you sing it with me? You are.
Beautiful. You are so beautiful to me. I wish you had my view from up here, because you do look beautiful. Even you, David, look beautiful.
And so do you. Well, so do you.
This is homecoming. I realize this is, when you get home, that's when you kind of loosen your tie, right? So I'm going to just loosen my tie a little bit. I'm feeling at home this morning. And I'm wondering, have you heard of the meditation teacher Tara Brach? She's got some great podcasts out there. She's a insight meditation teacher. Anyway, I listen to her podcast once in a while. There's some really good teachings in there. And she tells a story that I wanted to share with you about 3 guys who are stranded on a desert island. And they've been there a long time. And they were really starting to get bored and hopeless. But they got lucky because they found one of those lamps that have a magic genie inside. Each one will get one wish. The first man said, I miss my wife and my children so much, I just want to go home. And whoosh, he's transported home. The second man said, me too, I miss my dog and my work, I want to go home. And whoosh, he's gone. The third man looked around and he said, I'm lonely. I want my friends back. Right, so the easy lesson here is if you ever are in that situation, go for the third wish. All right, but on a more personal note, we have to have you ever wondered, what would I wish for if I could have anything I wanted in this life? Perhaps more money than you ever dreamed of. All the pleasures and security that money can buy. Pay off those credit cards. Take a trip around the world on your own private plane or yacht. Live on the beach in an amazing home. Or would you wish for power? I mean, can you imagine right now with everything going on if you had all the power that you wanted and needed to change the world? Or fame or prestige? Now, most of us already know that none of those things bring lasting happiness. Health matters, of course, but even the healthiest, wealthiest, most powerful people that I've known, they still wrestle with fear and doubt and loneliness. I was reading a book this week, thinking about this morning, by someone named John Hayes Nichols, and it's titled A Biblical Humanist Companion. So as a humanist, Nichols was wrestling with some of the different, in each chapter, some of the different Bible verses and what they mean, and to him now that he's a humanist and doesn't think in terms of God and the Almighty and those types of things. So in one of the chapters, he turns to the book of Ecclesiastes. If you know the book of Ecclesiastes, it's considered the pessimist. Ecclesiastes asks a lot of hard questions. And you'll know a number of the lines from Ecclesiastes because they've become a part of our culture. They're quoted by George Orwell, Thomas Wolfe, Shakespeare, John Steinbeck, Ernest Hemingway, George Bernard Shaw, Stevie Wonder, Pete Seeger, the Byrds, all the greats. So you've heard, for every season, turn, turn, turn. There's a time for every purpose under heaven. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. And there is nothing new under the, yes, you've heard it, under the sun. It says that it was written by a man who had everything he wanted. And yet he's very pessimistic. He says, whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. The writer says that he initially sought happiness through wisdom. It's an interesting idea. But he concludes, I have come to recognize that even this is just chasing the wind. Much wisdom, he says, much grief. The more knowledge, the more sorrow. So then he tries to explore pleasure. But he finds that pleasure is not enough to make him happy. So he explores riches. He writes that I did great things. I built myself palaces, planted vineyards and made myself gardens and orchards, planting every kind of fruit that exists. I had pools made. I amassed silver and gold. I denied myself nothing, and I refused my heart no pleasure. Only to conclude in the end, all I've toiled for and now bequeathed to my successor, I've come to hate. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity, he writes. For all his toil under the sun, what does man gain by it? He asks. Now, at this point, he's halfway through his life. And it hits him, the realization that he too is going to die. Someday, he too will die. Nichols says this is probably the first recorded example of a midlife crisis. In the second half of his life, he begins to ask the question, what does it all mean? It's the ultimate question that people often ask. Now, of course, for the author of Ecclesiastes, the answer is pretty predictable, as you can imagine. He says, fear God and follow the commandments. Okay, that worked for him. But it was not a very satisfying answer for Nichols, who's a humanist living near the end of, or the dawn of the 21st century here in the United States. Nichols concludes that what makes life meaningful and worth living is to enjoy the bounty of life that is available to us and to belong to other people. This idea of how we can enjoy the bounty of life that's available to us, that's going to be my subject for an upcoming message. And the reason why is because I've been hearing a lot of people saying things like, how can I have fun when people are dying in Gaza, when people are being racially profiled in the United States, when our democracy is falling apart before my eyes? How dare I enjoy my life? Well, I have an answer for that, because I believe it's really important that we both do our part, but also find ways to really soak in the beauty and the joy and the amazement of this world. So I'm going to focus on that in a couple weeks. But today is about belonging. What does it mean to belong to other people? This question got me to turn to a little book I have by someone named Matthew Tittle. And he was a former Southern Baptist who found a Unitarian Universalist church a few decades ago. And here's how he describes it. I never had a sense of belonging in a church until my wife Gail and I started to attend Unitarian Universalist congregations some years ago in the Washington, D.C. area. Except for my Southern Baptist teenage years, I was a Christian and Easter churchgoer, and then only when forced. I couldn't put my finger on it, but being in church was profoundly uncomfortable. Gail and I wanted to belong to a caring community, but we just could not bring ourselves to believe in what we heard in so many churches. The people were nice, but the message had no meaning for us. And then one day, someone said 7 simple words that changed my life. Have you ever heard of a Unitarian church? This, he explains, is the power of relationships. Something that a person says can make a life-altering difference in the life of someone else. Something you say today might make a profound difference in somebody's life. Now, of course, not every conversation has to be intentionally meaningful and transformative, but every conversation has the potential. Isn't it amazing to think how something that we say could have a life-changing impact on somebody and make their life richer, more whole, more beautiful, more full of love? I remember a conversation that I had right there in the back of this sanctuary about 16 years ago with Gina Pearson. She was the wife of Bishop Carlton Pearson, who was here for many years before he passed. And I was telling Gina how my wife and I were in the process of filling out the paperwork because we were looking to adopt a child. We were hoping to adopt a baby girl. You may know or you may not know that my wife and I, about 19 years ago, we lost a child, a baby girl. And so after a few years, we finally realized, we're ready to, expand our family and our life again. And so one of the pieces of paperwork in the adoption process asks you, what ethnicities and races are you open to adopting? That's a heady question. That really gets you thinking. And so that morning after church, I was explaining this to Gina, and I was asking her, what did she think? She's African American, by the way, for those who don't know her. I was asking her, what do you think? Could Anitra and I raise an African American little girl? What would that be like for her, for us? And Gina said many thoughtful things in that conversation, but the one that I remember and will never forget is she said, let me tell you, that girl will have so many aunties and uncles in this church, and we'll show you how to do her hair and all that stuff that you need to know. And so I came home and I explained the conversation to Anitra, and I said, I think we can do this. And so we did. When we filled out the application, we included African American as one of the options of folks who we would be open to adopting. And that brief conversation right there after church changed our lives and our family in the most incredible ways. We now have a 16-year-old beautiful daughter. If you haven't met her, she's amazing, and has just brought so much love and so much into our lives. So we never know what words we share, what little conversation we might have might change a person's life. And that's why I read with some frustration what Matt Tittle described about his first few experiences coming to a Unitarian Universalist church. He said, we could stand around for what seemed like an eternity and never, ever be greeted by anyone. I don't quite understand the phenomenon because we wouldn't have guests in our home without taking the time to greet them personally. And yet, people have a habit of not greeting the people who visit their spiritual home. I think it's even more important to get to know the visitors who come to our church than it is the ones who come to our home. Because how we welcome people at a church will affect whether they become a member of the family and of the community. Now, unless your children are bringing home prospective partners, not very many people visiting your house are considering becoming members of your family. Often first impressions are last impressions because people will not come back to a religious community of any kind if they feel ignored the first time they come. Too much is at stake. Our spiritual and emotional health is something that renders us very vulnerable. And so we protect it at all costs. It takes incredible courage to walk through the doors of a church or a new religious community. It takes courage the first time, and perhaps it takes courage every time. Now, when I read this, I was reminded that when somebody does find this community of All Souls, and they feel a sense of belonging here, it has a profound impact on the rest of their lives. I mean, I'm not telling most of you something you don't already know. And I know this because I see it happening. When people truly belong here, they make lifelong friends. They grow spiritually, intellectually, emotionally. They discover courage to face the hardest moments of their life. And that's why I sometimes wonder why all of us don't do a better job of inviting people to come check out All Souls. 7 simple words. Have you ever heard of All Souls? Considering what we know about the lifelong transformative impact of being a part of this community, how often do we have a chance to have that profound of an impact on someone's life? Well, we do when we introduce somebody to All Souls, to this community, if it's right for them. And we do it when we're here on a Sunday or any time during the week, and we greet someone who's new or visiting, and we help them feel welcome. So I want to encourage you every time you're here to, when you see someone who you think might be visiting or new or that you haven't met before, introduce yourself. Perhaps, especially if you find out that they're new, invite them to meet you on Wednesday night. Hey, why don't we meet on Wednesday night and have dinner? Or come to this class? Or why don't you want to come and we're going to be filling bags of food to give out to families in our community who are dealing with hunger. Why don't you come to our community resource bank, feeding, filling the bags on a Sunday after worship or something like that. Or one of the picnics or events here. Because that simple act could change someone's life in a very meaningful way. As a matter of fact, I know this is a little different for the point, but I just want to invite you. Let's take a moment and greet someone around you. Tell them, welcome home. We're glad you're here. Just stand up and greet somebody. Walk around. Don't be shy. Welcome. Hey, good to have you here. Welcome. How you doing? Great. All right. That was great. See, it wasn't that hard. Come on. So, it's not that hard, right? To introduce yourself. It's kind of fun. Meet some new people. When people first come here, they're wondering, what we're doing. They're like, why do they light a chalice? If it's their first time, if they come to the first service, they're wondering, why do they stand for those who have died? Which is something we do at the 10 o'clock service. Why don't they have any religious symbols in this place, in this sanctuary? Why do they even call it a sanctuary? Why does the choir often sing from the back? Right? It takes time to feel at home in a new place, to understand what's going on, the rhythms. One of the beauties of this place is new people come and they also change the place because it's a living tradition and we're really open. That's how we ended up with a humanist service 10 years ago. Was because there were a lot of people saying, hey, I love it here. I love the community. I love what we're doing. I want to be involved. I'm not really into all the prayers and hymns and stuff like that. Is it possible that we could do something? But I love the messages, the inspiration. I want something like that. And so we said, yeah, let's give it a try. And sure enough, people came. And they keep coming. But what also makes a difference, besides making a connection with someone when you first come, is also what makes a big long-term difference is being a part of a community that's open, that's thoughtful, that's honest, and that's caring. Especially the honest. Think about that today with all the, alternative facts and this whole, the contest for what's real, what's true, to have a community of people who care about just being honest, even at whatever cost. We're going to talk, we're going to have a real conversation. No one's going to have an agenda trying to make people believe something they don't believe. And that level of honesty in the world today is becoming like a rare commodity. And if we find places where people are open to seeking the truth in love, as we say, we need to, support those places and be around them as much as we can. So it's great to have a place like this on a good day, but when things are challenging, which they always, at some point in our lives, things become challenging, to belong to a community like this really matters. I get the calls. My sister just died. I'm not sure what to do. My child just died. My mother. I just found out I have cancer. I just moved to Tulsa. I don't know anybody. I just got accepted into a doctoral program, and I'm not even sure I can handle it. I just got a new job. I got pregnant. I got married. I got robbed. I just came out to myself, and I'm trying to build up the courage to come out to my family and my neighbors and my coworkers. And I get to say, you're not alone. We'll walk with you. And we're glad and proud to walk with you. We're in this together. You're not alone. I'm not alone. When that stuff happened with my daughter I mentioned earlier, I was not alone. I had this whole community supporting us. I don't know how I would have gotten through it. We're not alone in this big, fierce and beautiful, complicated and awesome world. You have a community. You belong. Your life matters. And that's why Nichols finally comes around in his wrestling with the words and the questions that show up in this pessimistic text of Ecclesiastes, and he says, we're made to belong to other people, that we may protect, serve, and enrich their lives and our own. We are made to enjoy the bounty of this world. He says, do good work, belong to other people, everything else is vain, vanity of vanities. And Tittle says something similar. He says, I don't believe that we can lead completely fulfilled lives without being in intimate and ultimate relationship with others. And it's beautiful if those others, it's an intergenerational community that includes little kids and elders and everything in between. Because we learn so much from each other across the generations. What I know is that this is a place where you can heal and you can find new and healthy relationships. You can learn how to love and receive love in the midst of everything else that's happening. I imagine there are other places where you can do it. I just know that it happens here. And in the end, Matthew Tittle becomes a Unitarian Universalist minister. And in his book, he says, all we ask are three things. Bring forth your best self. Support this communal life that we are creating together in this place. And act on your conscience in the broader community and world. Three things. Bring out your best. Support the community. and act on your conscience in the world. And what we offer in return is mutual support, love, and caring, and a place to belong, a beloved community. I want to just end with a story from a friend and colleague of mine, Dr. Tandeka. She's an amazing person. She's been here before a few times. She writes, several years ago, I spent an evening discussing covenant groups with members of a congregation who were interested in starting a small group program. At the end of my remarks, one of the most respected elder statesmen of the community stood up and slowly walked to the front of the assembly. He faced his fellow congregants and he said he had wanted something like this for years because he was lonely. Waves of shock rolled through the gathering. How could he be lonely? He was revered and beloved member of this congregation, a pillar of their community. He went on saying, my social upbringing has taught me not to talk about my feelings with anyone but my wife. And consequently, he confessed, I don't have any real friends. She goes on, something happened to me as he spoke. I felt the man's vulnerability. His heart spoke the hidden language of my own heart, loneliness. My own social upbringing had taught me not to talk about my feelings, to be emotionally invulnerable, closed to others. His story was my story. My story was his story. Here in the midst of this community, someone so much like myself had stepped forward and said simply and honestly, I'm lonely. And now all of us in the room were in the presence of an open space, an opened heart, a change of heart. Together, we love this man beyond belief. Beyond, that is, our own mistaken ideas and thoughts about who we believed he was. Friends, belonging to one another means we are always building our beloved community, welcoming new people to join, and welcoming each other to step forward and be more authentically ourselves. We just get one chance at this life, at least this go round. I know there's some Buddhists out there, so I don't. And so why not live it as authentically as we can? Outside of everyone else's agendas about what we're supposed to believe or how we're supposed to act or what we're supposed to do with our lives. Be free. Be me. It's a beautiful thing. And to be doing it in community makes all the difference. It's not about being selfish, individualistic people. It's about being fully myself in community and belonging to others and making a place like this available to our children who must be really confused right now growing up in this country, in this time. They need a place. They need the adults to show up and be the adults. And so we have this place. And it's a lot easier to be authentic when you feel like you belong and you have a place that you belong. Remember, the spirit of this community is love. Remember that with a searching glance, a generous smile, a thoughtful word, we are always building our beloved community. And through our covenant, we belong to one another. Welcome home. I love you. Beautiful, beautiful. Dr. Randy Hooper just joined our team, choir director. Amazing. Beautiful, thank you. 7 simple words. Have you ever heard of All Souls? I want you to think about who told you about this place. And I'll tell you what, if the person's still alive, I invite you to give them a call, send them an email, write them a letter, and just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome home, everybody. As you go forth from this place, may your eyes see beauty, may your lips speak truth, may your heart know love, and may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life. And until we meet again, go and be loved and be loving. Thank you.